Welcome to the show. You're listening to Silver Screen Magic with Herman and Teddy Swirls. I'm Big Herm, and with me, Teddy Swirls. Today, we're going to be talking about our 16th favorite movie of the year so far. What's yours, Teddy?
Juror number 2. That's my
Juror
16th
number 2.
favorite movie. Yeah, it is.
All right. This
Clint
has
Eastwood's
been
last.
Silver Screen Magic with Big Herm and Teddy Swirls. We're done. No.
Juror number 2 is Clint Eastwood's most recent film, and I don't think anybody even knows that he came out with another one because maybe it's Warner Brothers he always works with. It's like, no, but Cry Macho was so bad, we're not releasing this at all.
Cry Macho.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I couldn't make it through, but I wanted to because I've got a lot of respect for the man, that old raisin that continues to do
Is
movies.
Cry
It's
Macho
incredible.
the sequel to Gran Torino? Because it sounds like it is.
I think Cry Macho, he's like a botanist or something. So maybe if there was a real pivot off of Gran Torino and he didn't get killed by like an Asian gang and then got into flowers. I mean, a bit of a
he
stretch.
gets killed by. I don't know,
the end
man.
of Gran Torino, yeah.
Yeah,
Juror number 2, unfortunately, just really pretty boring, man. I don't know.
Well, I mean, who's focused on Juror number 2?
Me last night on HBO Max.
Yeah,
I was like, I want to watch this. And I think, it's kind of like reviewers out there, like this man is like 102 years old. Let's give him some decent reviews. This movie isn't bad, but it's just fine. Like, is that how you want to end? Is like your last special is fine?
Do you do a Rotten Tomatoes search before you watch a movie?
Sometimes. Now, like, dude, I tell you, like every Wednesday, Amy and I'll go see a movie. We drop off the kids, and like it's just whatever movie's showing. We don't have any there's never an option. And we saw one 2 weeks ago called Love Hurts, where you see a movie and it's like, oh, anything, anywhere in the ballpark of decent was in the preview. The preview wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
But like Marshawn Lynch is in it, and he, riffs a little bit on this guy, and it's just like,
got to be a great movie.
Whatever the worst version of Travolta and Samuel Jackson, whatever the worst version of that is, Marshawn Lynch and whoever the dude is that's playing his like gangster colleague,
Marshawn Lynch and Bryce Drew.
I can't.
Love her.
that would sparkle. I think you're wrong. I just can't handle the dialogue. Dialogue in movies now, especially comedies. Just it's so lazy. Everything is just everything is just a dude doing something stupid and then a woman being like WTF, and then she's hilarious. Yeah. God, this woman's so funny because she's saying this is awkward.
Yeah.
Why is my husband taking a crap on the floor? What in the world, man? What a crazy POV this woman has.
I'm very selective with movies. Obviously, not. Like Rachel will pick movies. First thing I always ask, and she's like, "Do you want to watch such and such?" I go, "How long is it?" Always my first question.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fair.
If it's under 2 hours, I'm mostly in, always, right? Then I'll do a Rotten Tomatoes. If it's anywhere between 40 and 80, I'm not watching it. If it's above 80, I'm in. If it's below 40, I'm in. The movies that you're watching, it reminds me of, it was my senior year in college. I went on a cruise with my parents and my uncle to Bermuda. And on the way back,
you must have had a good life.
It was fun. It was very fun.
I bet it was. Did you do comedy?
No, I didn't do stand-up yet. I went to the comedy show every night, though. On the way back, we hit the corner of a tropical storm or whatever, so we had to stay in our rooms. And there were 3 movies that played around the clock. That's the only thing on the TV. I brought 2 books with me.
What year was it, 97?
No, it's 2002.
Okay.
2001 or 2. I graduated in 02, so it was like, I think it was over the holidays there between 01 and 02.
Please tell me
And
Freddie Got Fingered was one of them. Please.
God, I wish Freddie Got Fingered was playing. So I watched the following movies 2 or 3 times each. Like I said, it's the end of the cruise. So I'd already read, I brought 2 books. I'd read them both and nothing else to do. And Moulin Rouge,
Okay. All right.
I think 3
At least
times.
that's got some personality. You watched it 3 times?
It was
Oh, God.
in a day. It was by far the best of the 3. The other 2 were Sea Spot Run, starring David Arquette and Anthony Anderson.
Man,
And
you said 2002? And when was Scream? Like 96? Goodness.
something like that. Yeah.
He was still in movies, but apparently people
And
found out.
Sweet November, starring
Mm,
Charlize Theron in a romantic, it's not even a comedy.
mm.
Have you ever heard of this movie?
A romantic horror.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah,
heard of this movie?
no,
I
yeah, I
watched it
have heard of it. I
twice.
haven't seen it.
I watched it twice because I was like, I can't watch Moulin Rouge again because I'm trying to keep the movie. Sea Spot Run was the shortest, then Sweet November, then Moulin Rouge. So I'm like, anyway, one of the worst days of my life.
Do you hear that, guys? One of the worst days of Ryan's life was on a cruise. That's just everything you need to know.
I spent at least 7 hours watching Sweet November and Sea Spot Run.
It does suck.
I don't
Look,
even think the editor of Sea Spot Run saw it more than once.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Yeah. Look, I just get tired of like the movies that are on these platforms that get like upvoted and whatnot are mostly just absolute trash.
Here's the funny thing, right? All the movies, right? They're all, it's existing IP. It's like this comic book. Let's just do this comic book. The story's already told. We got the IP. Here's the thing. I'm not knocking comic books, obviously. They have their market and they have their their artistic merit. But and just talking about how big of a miss the studios are making. How many people do you know who are into comic books? What, 1% of the people you know?
Oh, like adults?
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Nah.
Maximum
Nobody really.
5
And
to 10%
any of them
the
would be comics. All of
Yeah,
them. At best
exactly.
5%. Yeah.
But people are obsessed that everyone is reading comic books. It's like when, I used to perform at colleges.
They're
all the
assuming
time.
people are actually reading is baffling.
Yeah, right. But I used to perform at colleges all the time. And then suddenly they just dried up. My agents are like, I don't know what's going on, but everyone just wants poets now. And I'm like, no one wants poets. This is one person who's in charge who thinks people want poets. I'm like, find someone who's staying in on a Friday to watch poetry on TV. No one is doing this. 1 out of 10,000 people. Right. And I'm not knocking poetry, obviously, either, but it's like,
but it's never really been a super
thing.
mainstream form of entertainment.
A poet's never sold out Radio City Music Hall, is what I'm saying.
Probably not. No.
Yeah. And no one's ever like, I don't know. I feel like we're,
I mean, I guess the high point of poetry in our lifetime would be Maya Angelou for Clinton's inauguration, right? I can't think of a higher point than that. But people weren't buying tickets for it.
Yeah, I mean, we all, there's always a poet laureate, but she's probably the only one that people, the general public can name, who's like everyone has read her, and just respected across the spectrum.
If I'm a poet, I'm a professional poet, I guess you would say, I would want people, if I'm being introduced, be like, Nick, he's a poet and he pays his mortgage that way. I would want that. That would have to be tacked on. And it makes me better than whatever you are. I don't care if you're the head of a hedge fund. If I'm paying my rent with my poetry, I'm better than you.
Right. That's a good point. Do you think, how this comics always have to deal with this? Do you think if a poet introduces himself to someone as a poet, then people go, and what do you poem about?
What are your rhymes?
What are your rhymes? What type of things do you rhyme about?
I never tell anybody. If I'm flying next to somebody at a party, I will
I don't
never,
tell anybody either, but
ever, ever. And yet, other people have no problem. Oh,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, we used to be comics, or we are comics, or whatever. I remember this dude in New York. We go out to bar, girls there. Hey, we're comics. Why are you're
Why
not
are
a
you
good
advertising
why are
this?
you telling people this? You're
Yeah.
just setting a bar.
Well, my girlfriend tells people, and I'm telling you, man, she's finally slowed down on it. But she used to be a comic herself. But like when we had left LA for the fires, we're in Palm Springs, and she's like in a hot tub, and I'm just like I'm over on like a whatever, like a chair writing on the other side of the place. She
Watching
comes
Sweet
over.
November by
Yes,
yourself.
watch the Sweet November for the
Taking
30th
a
time.
moment.
Like,
I'm just watching this fantasy romance movie. Yeah.
no, that's not that's Bitter July. That guy. That's what it means. And then later, and then she dates a new guy every month. The November guy was sweet. Okay. Anyway,
Are you serious?
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. That's
Isn't that
sad that
horrific?
it's so on the nose.
Yeah.
I thought it would actually mean something.
No,
Are you
no.
telling me that they were just like, what are we going to call this?
Yeah, I mean,
How about nice
the
April? Is
November
that what we're going to go
relationship
with?
was a little more meaningful. And what's crazy is she went on to become an awesome actor. I mean, she may have even been back then. I don't know, but she ended up being
Dude,
in
she
great
was
stuff
this
too.
close to being cast in
Phenomenal.
Showgirls. This close. And the director has gone on to say, the director who kept working has gone on to say, like, she should be thanking whoever she believes in that she was not cast in Showgirls, because she
Yeah,
wouldn't have a career if she was
would have
cast in
tanked her.
Showgirls.
I got a Showgirls thing for you, but what was I going to say first? What was I talking about?
I don't know. Rachel always
Oh yeah, yeah,
intros you
yeah.
guys as
So she comes back
comics.
from the hot tub. She's like, I was just talking to this couple over there from wherever, and I told them you're a comic, etc. And I go, I'm staying at this place for 4 days, and now people know I'm a comic here.
No, you got to wear a hat in the elevator now. That's just how it is. Wear a full-on mask.
It's a small place with 12 rooms too.
Nope.
Everyone knows. The staff knows, and it's a place we go to regularly.
Dude, that is betrayal.
I know. I liked when they thought I was a ER doctor. That's what I was telling for a while. I was like, I work on emergencies. No, I didn't. I'm making this up. She did
You can
go.
tell them I'm a movie star before you tell them that
Yeah.
I do stand-up.
Yeah.
Literally anything.
So
Please.
Nick, there's a theater right down the street from my house called Vidiots, and it's an amazing theater. You would love it. And in the past year, I have seen 2 Star Wars movies. I've seen Rocky. I've seen Broadcast News. I've
That's
seen.
such a good movie.
I mean, I can't even name them all, dude. Dude, I saw the original Planet of the Apes. Just amazing movie after amazing movie. Rachel went one night. Oh, fucking Donnie Darko too. And she
Brilliant.
saw Showgirls, right? And
Had she ever seen it? Had she seen it before?
no, it was her first time seeing it.
Oh my God, in a theater. That would be incredible.
But here's the thing. People watch Showgirls like you watch Roadhouse, right?
Yeah. It'd be akin to like watching the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
It would be a huge, yeah.
You ready for this? The show was introed by Elizabeth Berkley. She was interviewed, and she was talking about how it was the role of a lifetime, and it meant so much to her. And like, she got very emotional about it, like as a career defining thing.
Yeah.
And then people are watching this movie, and it's like, I can't laugh now.
It's hard not to laugh, man. And look, I feel
You
for
can't
her. I
not laugh.
really do. Anyone who has ever experienced any kind of failure, like egg on your face in front of that many people watching, like, and I went into it having just listened to a podcast about, dude, this girl just really put it out there. Talk about a big swing, right? And yet, even with that, like, my expectations were where they were, which is very low. and I was going to give her every break possible. But within 5 minutes, you're like, this is either the single best comedic performance I've ever seen or one of the worst acting performances I've ever seen. And it
Yes.
is phenomenal.
Well,
And,
here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna read a scene from it.
all right.
All right, I'm gonna find it here. I've got the script.
Well,
Hold
in the
on, hold on.
meantime, I'll tell you this. I was going to sprinkle this in organically, but now I'm just going to shoehorn it. Last night, there's something about an insult from a kid that, like, they don't have all the adult words and they don't have all the cuss words, but then
Mm-hmm.
it just makes you feel worse. I was putting my son down for bed, and he said, on a scale of 0 to 10, you're a 0. And then he said, your phone is a 10 out of 10, but you're a 0 out of 10.
Your
And then he
phone.
made it worse by, I mean, I'm a 0. And then he said, your
Oh
butt is a
my
0
god.
out of 10.
Your
And then
butt is
he
zero. I
said,
mean, that's kind of weird.
yeah. And then he said, 0 to 10, you're poop. And then finally he said, yeah, 0 to 10, you're shit or your dog shit. Like it just like I've never felt so bad. I just felt
Dude,
it
yeah,
just
that's
hurt, man. Like, can you imagine a kid saying you're a 0 out of 10, but your phone is a 10 out of 10?
it's really brutal. I mean, could it be more obvious he's using you for your technology? All right,
No,
open up that
but
script. Go to
still.
page 78.
All right. I mean, if somebody in the audience, if, I'm sure we've all been heckled, but have you ever heard something, anything as cruel as that joke was a 0 out of 10?
Not that, but I did a show last night. I haven't done many shows the last few months.
Wait, what page was it? What page?
78.
Okay.
And before the show, the bartender said, "Okay, I'm going to make sure I heckle every comic tonight." It's like, buddy, don't. If anyone even thinks that that's a fun joke, it's not. Like, I know people come up to comics before show and like, yeah, I'm going to heckle tonight. What? Even if you're joking, shut up. It's. I mean, you may as well say, "I'm going to fuck your wife tonight." Like that's the
What do you
level of
want the person to
disrespect we take
say?
that
Like,
for. Right.
good, I had nothing planned, please. I remember
So
when I was like, I don't know how old I was, but I'd done like a couple of sets. Just barely started. And this girl that I was kind of seeing, her mom was like, "Yeah, we went to the comedy club.
mhm.
Oh, how'd you like it?" And she's like, "We loved it. We all heckled the shit out of the comedian." And right then, it was just not that there was ever going to be some big future in that, relationship, but it was just dead right there. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
if this is the world that you've been raised in, to just disrespect lonely road comics who don't speak with anyone between Monday and Wednesday, and this is their first time to try to talk, and they're just trying to make your day, and you're going to heckle them, and
It's
probably
just
poorly. I just can't.
just amazing. All right, you ready, bud? You ready?
Yeah, man. Who am
This
I?
is the worst scene from the entire movie Showgirls. They're eating
Okay.
salads and sashimi. Crystal has a bottle of Rotorare Cristal in front of her. I don't know if I say
Oh,
that right. She is pouring Nomi some.
I get a headache from champagne.
This isn't champagne. This is holy water. I named myself after this holy water. Chrissy Lou Connors used to have dingy brown hair and little tits. It's just amazing what paint a surgeon can do. She smiles. She's a little high off the champagne. She raises her glass in a toast. You've got great tits. They're really beautiful.
Thank you.
I like nice tits. I always have. How about you?
I like having nice tits.
How do you like having them?
What do you
I
mean?
already asked you that. Okay. Oh, how do you like having them? Okay.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
I hold on. I like having them in a nice dress or in a tight top.
You like to show them off?
I didn't like showing them off at the cheetah.
Why not? I liked looking at them there. Everyone liked looking at them there.
It made me feel like a hooker.
You are a whore, darling.
No, I'm not.
We all are. We take the cash or we cash the check. We show them what they want to see.
Maybe you're a whore, Crystal, but I'm not.
All right. Now it just keeps fucking devolving. What was the line you said?
He said, "Girl, I've just got a problem with pussy, okay?" Look,
Problem with
Nomi is
yeah.
quite the hypocrite. I mean, she's saying she's not a whore after she does probably an 8-minute fully naked stage dance scene at a strip club.
Hey, so that's a
It's
stripper, not a prostitute.
true, but I think that we
True, but
all
if you
know
were
what
her
Crystal
grandmother,
meant. Yes. She's saying, she's basically trying, like, her tone in the movie is, I'm the furthest thing from that. And I'm like, are you? Are you? It seems like you're pretty close, especially what you do in the swimming pool later on. It's a movie. It's fantastic.
all
It's
right, you
just
ready
so
for the
fun.
scene? I'll be James and Molly. All right, you be Nomi. You're good, Nomi.
Nobody can do it like her. It was,
You ready?
I couldn't believe what I was watching when I finally saw it. It's like, there's no way this can live up to the hype. And it was so much better. All right. The
Yeah.
top.
Yeah. All right. They're in front of the Stardust at night. Nomi heads out with Molly into the parking lot. She has her roses in her arms. They are giggling, very up. When she steps out, she sees James standing there in the darkness. She keeps going. Is this written by AI? Okay. Can I talk to you a minute? Please.
Talk.
Alone. All right, Molly waits in the car.
I'll be right there.
Who sent you the flowers?
None of your business.
Okay. Look, I just wanted to say
You and me ain't got no ties.
I've got a problem with pussy, okay? I always have. I'm always gonna. But I meant what I said to you.
I'm not interested in your problems.
I did write it for you. But then I did tell her I'd teach her. And I did fuck her.
Who the fuck is your business? I'm not making it mine.
Well, it ain't like I'm seeing any money for writing that number. I might as well at least touch a little pussy. Jesus Christ. Ain't you got nothing to say?
No. Thanks for the flowers.
Okay. How are you supposed to watch this movie with the star and not laugh?
Dude, it's hilarious. First off, they're talking about a number that is maybe 20 seconds long that he wrote, that he choreographed this little dance sequence, and he's posting it around town like, okay, quit your job stripping. You're going to come and do this this dance that I choreographed over at a different club. It's what you find out later when you see it is just another strip club. And their crowd is yelling at him to stop because it sucks so bad. And they're right. The dance sucks.
I
It's
don't remember
so bad. But all of their scenes are about him trying to recruit her, which for some reason means that she'd have to quit her job, which it seems like at best this is like a 30-minute one-off. Go in. You don't even have to get changed. They did this little dance with a couple of chairs. I mean, it feels like it's basically a shell. If a shell game were a 2-minute dance, and that is an intermission between strippers.
Yeah.
That is what he is talking about. And he apparently uses it as like this way to like get women into his place. He tells them, oh, this dance, I wrote it for you. Then he gets that pee. And all Elizabeth Berkley does the whole movie is she just overreacts to such a degree that, feminists wouldn't be happy.
Well, first we're going to call this episode Nick Cobb Has a Problem with Pussy.
Yeah. I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
I've got a few, actually.
Let's do it.
First off, sidebar. Have you ever, I'm not usually a confrontational person, but have you ever like laid into a customer service rep for 2-3 minutes, and then you wait a beat and they just ask you what your name is. I feel like it's the best way to take somebody down. Look,
Right.
Xfinity, I just bought a booster. Like, I've spent trying to get this internet to just be consistently good. Just don't die on me.
Yeah,
Keeps on
yeah.
dying on me. Right after I bought another booster. And also, when you call Xfinity, they're just do everything they can. Like, can we just text you for a chat? To do their
Yeah,
chat
yeah.
with their little robot. So to get an actual person takes 20 minutes.
It's a feat.
And I finally got somebody on, and as soon as they said hello, I just on a leash of like, look, I just bought a booster. I'm paying this much a month. The internet's crap. It's always going down. I mean, my wife and I work from home, and yet it's constantly going down. I just got a booster. I can't believe I'm paying for this. Every time I call, you have to fix it. I don't want to fix it. I just want a credit. Do not fix it. Don't even say you're going to fix it. I just want a credit.
Uh-huh.
What should we call you? That was their response after all of that. And I'm like, it just puts you in your place.
Dude, the and then do you adjust? Because I've had that same thing where it's like you realize that you've used your venom on the wrong person.
I mean, I
You
think
know?
that you realize immediately that this is all they get all day, and they
Yeah.
are completely unaffected by any of it. It doesn't,
Yeah, I
like,
guess
you
there's
could have the
that.
great Santini on there screaming at them, and they're just stone faced, heard it all the time. Like, just get to it.
Yeah.
But they like, what should
Yeah.
I call you? And I'm like, vengeance. That's what you
Then
should call me. For to the purposes of today's call, that's my name.
it really does take you down a peg, though. If it's,
It
but if you had where it's like that, and then they're like, you do that whole thing, and then they go, "This is actually sales.
Yeah,
Would you like technical support?" And then by the time you
right.
get to tech support, you're like, "Okay, I guess I do need to dial back my venom." And
It's more effective in demoralizing me than the old way they would do it. They would just put you on hold. It's more
yeah, yeah,
demoralizing. Or
yeah,
or even
yeah,
I think it's more demoralizing than transferring, because they're
yeah,
saying you found the right person and you just wasted time. Like,
yeah,
what are you mad at? It's
yeah.
just, it really got me. I wish I could like institute it in my own life. No, here's my question for you. So somehow you stumble upon, or maybe you're given this option. This is my hypothetical, or one of them,
Okay.
that everything that you would do in life, from stand up, we can start with stand up, but it really just means everything. You come to realize will be 30 to 40% better if you do it in Pig Latin.
What?
Are you okay with that? Like,
Say it
if you do
again?
a special, everything that you do, your stand up is 30 to 40% better. No, we'll say 100% better. You become twice as good if you just do your entire set in Pig Latin. You become the comic who does everything in Pig Latin.
Can't do it, man. I just can't do it.
And you'll try to break away, be like, oh, I got some new stuff. And then you go back to like the way you usually speak, and people just immediately turn on you. But
I
if you're
can't do it.
speaking Pig Latin, they love it.
I can't do it, man. I know a comic who did not start as an impressionist. Then he got SNL and started, and then he became known as an impressionist, even though that's not. He just incidentally is great at impressions. And then when he would do stand up, he liked doing kind of dark stories and kind of offbeat stuff. And it was always really funny, but the crowd was always just waiting for the impression. Then he'd always have to close, and it always hampered his sets. And he's super funny, and then he'd have to close on an impression, and you could tell he despised it. Yeah,
That's
so
tough,
I
dude.
it
That's really
just
the story of Gallagher, I would think. Like, Gallagher's like, if you've heard Gallagher's actual material aside from like
yeah.
watermelons and shit, like, he wanted to
You
be
know how hard it is
Carlin,
to get a
clearly.
watermelon in December too?
He wanted to be, that he just like he was just doing a show next to a fruit stand and threw a piece one day in the middle
Yeah.
of some rant about the government, and people went
What
ballistic, and he's like, I can't go back.
Why was the watermelon thing supposed to be funny? I don't understand that.
Oh, I always thought it was so. I don't know, man. You're in the splash zone, guys, but I'm also going to
It's
preach
just,
to you about the Crusades.
it just seems like it's a spectacle, but it's not funny though, right? Is it meant to be
At the
funny?
time, I think so. Absolutely.
Nah. I saw like a little supercut.
Watching Shamu supposed to be entertaining? It is.
It's entertaining, but
It's
it's not,
it's
Shamu's not funny. No one's ever like, dude, you see that bitch Shamu did with the fucking the
yeah,
wave?
but if Shamu could talk and he's talking about the government, then and he punctuates his punchlines are like splashing you.
I think your point's weak. Um,
I'm doing
I,
the
j-
best I can. I completely
I
agree.
I just saw a supercut of a comic special, and it was like 50 punchlines in a row where it's just him saying someone's name. And he's like, "Okay,
Oh yeah,
Bill.
yeah.
All right, Margaret." And it's like his entire special is just him. Like every punchline is just him saying a name. And it was like, man, whoever made this edit is the most brutal and cruel person ever.
So okay,
It's like
so
you're just showing the emperor without clothes. I can't even think of anyone being effectively broken down. Has anyone ever been effectively broke? I guess Kendrick Lamar to Drake. I can't think of anyone else who's been more
somebody
effectively
took
just
him down. Like they poured
destroyed.
through. Yes, God knows how much tape they had to go to all of his shows or like find
No, it's from one
every
special.
what?
It's one
Oh
special. There's like
man,
50 punchlines where
it
he's just
sounds like he
like,
left himself open then.
yeah,
It's
where
like,
he's like, all right, Otto.
yeah, how many more one syllable names do I know of dudes that don't even have that name anymore? All right, fine. Okay, I'll change it. And it's like, you're not twice as good. You're so good that you're selling theaters out for a year. That's what you
There's
got.
no
And
scenario where I'm going to do stand up that I think is not funny or I don't enjoy. I would rather work at a bank.
really, then do Pig Latin stand up.
Yes. If I
All right.
wanted to do stand up on the road at any cost and make a shit ton of money, I could do it, but it wouldn't be what I love and you could do the same. Both of us could both of us could have crowd pleaser acts if we wanted to and make several $100,000 a year. We know how to do this.
All right, fine. Okay, completely different. That was so disappointing your answer. It just nothing is ever going to beat the question about you when you said yes to this one. It's remarkable. You say no to Pig Latin, but a few weeks ago I asked you basically the same question about stand up, like you're selling out every theater for a year, but you have to walk around like an ostrich, and you immediately said yes.
Oh, ostrich knees is hilarious.
Ostrich knees,
It doesn't
but with
it
your
doesn't
set,
I don't have to stop. I don't have to start saying things that I don't think are funny though. I'm just working with the knees, you know what I mean? It's like a new tool in the toolbox. It's
but
like
people wouldn't even like go like they wouldn't even be there for your jokes. Like they may laugh a little, a courtesy
they're
laugh,
getting them.
but they're basically just waiting for you to pray
Wait,
to run
wait for me
across
to go whoop.
stage for a tennis ball.
they're like I look at it as another tool in the toolbox. Like Norm Macdonald says that he would call Rodney Dangerfield the perfect comedian because he's
Yeah,
the funniest and he looks funny.
right.
So like any expression he makes is, I mean, it's just you just want to laugh the whole time.
He's
Ostrich
a
knees the same
cartoon.
thing, man. It's another tool in the toolbox.
That's man, that is real thin. That's thinner than my Shamu
Is
Gallagher
it?
comparison.
I think
Yeah.
it's another tool in the toolbox.
All right,
I
here.
just get to work the knee, you know. But I mean, most of my stand up, I'm barely moving. You know, I'm like just like little paces here and there, and then occasionally you just give them a little whoop.
But you're also going to get people to your shows that don't that's all they want to see. They're bringing their kids. You're basically a
Bringing
magic
their
act.
kids.
They're and then you're going on about whatever it is that like you have to have a certain IQ to understand. And that's all they want is like, when are you going to run around at 60 miles an hour like an ostrich again?
I will not have you besmirch magicians on here. You said like a magic act. Not on my watch.
I really like magicians, but you know what
I
I
love
meant.
magic. I
Yeah, you
love
know what I
magic.
meant.
You're
Yeah,
talking about like a kid magician.
sure. You still know what I meant
Okay.
though.
one of my
They're
topics I
not
wanted to talk
there for
about
this.
today was
They're not there
magic,
for the
because I was at
steak.
the
They're
Magic
there for the
Castle
ostrich
last
legs.
weekend. One of
Yeah.
the three top reasons to live in LA is the Magic Castle.
Yeah, it's great.
And the abundance of magic here. You can see world-class magicians any night. It is incredible.
What a funny way to sell a city. You can see world-class illusionists any night of the week.
I saw a sorcerer last weekend. This dude it was in the close-up room where I'm at the table. He did a card trick that I'm like, this guy is a full-blown sorcerer.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. You get a foot away and you're like, this, and you know it's sleight of hand. That's all they got.
Dude,
it's so precise.
Yes, it's incredible. So there's this guy, Juan Tamariz. He's like the greatest card magician in the world for the past like 40 years. And he did a week recently.
You can check the rankings somewhere.
In the parlor room. No, he truly is. I'll send you a clip after this. It's absurd, right?
Okay.
So a magician I know, Felix Jones, he did, we did AGT together. Felix was telling me that Juan brought him on stage as his like as the person he's doing the trick on. So he's bringing on another like, you know, professional, like very high level magician. And by the way, the room, if somebody like that is on, there's probably 10, 15 magicians in the room, because it's like you have to watch the master, because he's also working in a tiny room. He said he did this trick where Felix's card is, it's like, you know, it's whatever it is, you know, anything is like, we're going to reveal your card in a creative way, right? He said the cards are sitting there and one card just starts sliding across the table to him.
Yeah, man. I used to open for a magician, and there was one time where there was like a lounge act at a hotel back when we went back to the hotel. And one of the guys who's not the magician, just a magician who works for the magician, we were just hanging out. And the coffee table, whatever, we had our drinks on, was a glass table. And he had 3 cards underneath. And anybody who would walk by, which card, blah, blah, blah. And he, like, you saw the cards. You were looking at it. It was a glass table. You saw it. It's like, oh, that's a, you know, Jack clubs, whatever, 9 of hearts, whatever it is. And it would change by the time he brought it above. I don't understand. I still don't understand. I don't want to understand. No, I'm very impressed with it. I got another question though.
Oh yeah,
You don't want kids, right? You don't ever want kids, right?
Well, I mean, it's sort of an ongoing conversation.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So I'll put it this way then. I'm shocked by the number of dudes I know that are never going to have kids, do not want kids, and like it's agreed upon in their marriage not going to have kids, and yet they will not have a vasectomy. So they're just cool with like, I'm just going to have condoms all the way. So here's my question.
Well, no, they're IUDs.
Yeah, no, a lot of them have just told me that they're just going to use condoms.
Oh, okay. Sure. That's
so
ridiculous.
Would you take $2 million to have your balls removed, but you still have a ball sack and it's filled with jelly beans?
Shut the fuck up.
$2 million. You're not going to use them anyway. You just have a sack with jelly beans, or like that kinetic sand that you can mold into different things, or any food.
Are there any health implications?
No. It's just,
of course
it just feels weird between your legs when you're running. It just feels weird.
The jelly beans are going to melt.
You're used to one feeling to the point where you're like, you don't even notice it anymore, how it is now. And then after you have the operation, you get your cool $2 million, not taxed. Uncle Sam's not going to get it. And then it's...
I like that you went from vasectomy to remove the balls.
Yeah.
I mean,
so in my opinion, like I've had a vasectomy, like you can take them out and you could fill them with Legos for all I care.
Yeah, because they're just hanging out in there, right?
It's just a sack of Legos. Yeah, that's right.
I don't understand it. The tissue's alive.
Like whatever
right?
Johnny Appleseed had in that handkerchief on the stick, put that in there. Yeah. Whatever.
There's
give
blood
me $2 million,
flow, though, right? The tissue's alive. It's just not.
There's no health implications. Okay.
Yeah, there's
you don't,
no.
don't
I'm saying
into
for
the
you, if you get a vasectomy,
yeah,
everything's still active except there's no transport, right?
Right. There's a wall there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the best decision I've ever made.
Yeah, I mean,
and a
I guess we
lifetime of poor
remove it and
decisions.
replace. I like the kinetic sand idea
Yeah, yeah,
for $2
yeah.
million. Yeah, I mean, $2 million, you could replace one of my fingers with jelly beans.
Would you really? I would
Yeah,
want one of those things where, like, if you see, I don't know what they're called, but like if you turn all the lights off in a room and then you light it and the like stars are all over the ceiling. I forget what those are. That's what I would want. You give me two
instead of
million, you're gonna take my
balls.
balls. Yeah, I'd want
Wait a
it
minute. So then your
becomes
balls will light up a room.
yeah, with stars.
Are they like? Does that hold on? Does that mean there's like a I can't
It's
remember
like
what it's
the
called, but basically like a
planetarium.
cookie cutter kind of deal. Like, do you have holes in them to project that?
Yeah, we'll say there's a light bulb and there's holes. Yeah, it's a planetarium.
Interesting.
So would you do this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
You do
I
the
do any of
finger.
these things. I do any of these things. Yes, for
Okay.
$2 million.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really using them for anything.
God, it's crazy where what you care about, how it's such a moving target. Like you're fine with the ostrich knees, you're not fine with the pig Latin, but then you're fine with getting kinetic sand in your ball sack. It just, I don't know. I always feel like I kind of know how you're gonna answer it. I'm always
there,
wrong.
there's no like I'm not jeopardizing my artistic integrity by replacing my balls with kinetic sand. That's what it comes down to.
Unless you believe that, a child is the ultimate form of creation for a human, which a lot of people like to espouse. I haven't used that word in a long
Fair.
time. That's all I got, man.
That's all you got? Well,
That's all.
should we go ahead?
I'm going to let the other hypotheticals just cook, marinate for a week.
All right. Let's play rank. Okay. Nick, let's play rank them. Rank
Wait,
them.
I say something real fast. I ranked them last week. If you remember what
What was it?
it was. Perfect person, most tolerable to least, of these three things. The first one was every new person that they meet, they ask, hey, if you found a magic lamp, what would your three wishes be? Doesn't matter who it is. That's going to be their first question.
Yeah.
And then if the person answers and then ask your girlfriend or your wife, she's like, oh, I've never thought about it before. That is the interaction every
I've never thought about it before.
She asked everyone.
That moves to number one then. That moves to number one from number three if it's I've never thought about it before.
Every time. Meeting your parents, meeting a congressman, meeting the mailman. It's like, what would your three wishes be? And then they turn it around to be polite and they're like, oh, I got to get back to you on that. I haven't thought about it before.
Everyone would think she has brain damage, right? No one would think that she's fully there, right?
Well, she is otherwise completely.
But everyone would assume there's something. No one would have that interaction and then go, yeah, she's probably, intact cerebrally.
All right, so it'll probably be the least tolerable for you. The second one was
she's partially very stupid. Was that the line?
Was,
partially very
tickles your butthole every time she kisses you. Every time she kisses
your butthole. It was just tickles you.
So the hypothetical has changed over the last week, and I've asked a couple of friends. And the third one was she's always wearing an "I'm with stupid" shirt with an arrow, and she makes sure that she's standing on the side of you, so the arrow's pointing at you. And I mean always. So I asked this to a few people, and everyone said I thought the tickling would be the worst, especially with the butthole. And they said "I'm with stupid" is the most tolerable. The tickling is the second. And the worst is the magic lamp. Oh, I haven't thought about it before.
Well, now that it's the butt, tickling the butt, that's last. I mean, could you imagine in public? And then the shirt is number two. The lamp thing was the worst until you added, I've never thought about it before. When you add that to it, it's number one. I mean, that's amazing.
Oh, you like that? Okay.
It. Oh, I love it. Right. I love. I never thought of that before. I
had to tell you that. Yeah, I've been kind of workshopping it. and it was just emphatic all around.
I love it. Or are you ready for my rank them?
Yeah, please bring it on.
Okay, so if you haven't gathered, if you're a new listener, Rank Them is a game where we list 3 characteristics. This is for a person who's perfect for you in every way. You're going to spend the rest of your life with them. The only difference are these 3 defining characteristics. It's the same person otherwise. Let's play Rank Them. Number 1 was a porn star for 3 years.
All right.
Okay.
And can we assume, just look, not to get too crazy, but are we talking about a
Just
porn
look.
star like these days or like
Major.
in the 80s? Okay. All right. Okay.
What do you think? She's 70?
I mean, it just, there's different kinds. Okay.
A big, like when I say star, I mean star. She's
Okay.
known. Okay.
Okay. Not she did a little. Okay.
Yeah, not did a little porn. She was a porn star for 3 years. So we're talking a couple hundred movies. Okay.
People know her name. Yeah.
Yeah, she gets recognized. She comes over for dinner. Your cousin comes over and is like, I recognize you.
That's tough, especially in this neighborhood. I still haven't said shit, and I've lived here for like 18 months.
Okay, so that's porn star for 3 years.
Uh-huh.
Number 2, cheats on her taxes every year. Every single year.
Does she get audited every year?
I mean, it's only a matter of time, right? Until there's hellfire, right?
Okay.
You're not going to get away with it forever. Number 3, cannot spell anything to the point that she makes up spellings for things. Like every now and then, they'll be like, I can't think of an example, but sometimes you might have to spell, like you'd be like a soda, SODA, but she'd be like soda, PLQM, soda.
Okay.
So basically, overall, she's not stupid. She's just proudly illiterate. Okay, but in other ways, she's brilliant.
She's real street smart. All right.
Yeah.
So this is kind of tough. I would say the number one, the most tolerable, is the taxes, because I just would not marry this person. I just wouldn't marry them.
Oh, that's the toughest, or the
no,
easiest.
That's the most tolerable.
That's the most tolerable.
Because I will not marry them. So I'm not going to be affected by that. If she wants to cheat on her taxes, you can cheat on your taxes. It's not going to affect me. We're not married.
And you're fine visiting her in prison.
Hey man,
she's not going to get away with it forever.
Yeah, you dug this hole, and I'm not. As long as she doesn't complain about it.
I mean, you're going to visit a federal prison every month for 20 years. And you better stay loyal, you son of a bitch.
Then I would go. Nah, you know what? Yeah, that'd be number 1. Number 2 is porn. Number 3 is the spelling. I couldn't handle the spelling.
The 3 is the spelling. 2 is the porn.
I couldn't.
You know what? When I first wrote this, okay, the original one was a porn star for 3 years. Number 2 was going to be is currently a porn star, but only doing it for 6 months, and then we'll stop. And the other one is will be a porn star for 3 years at some point in the future.
Oh, man, that's tough.
So I changed it, right?
That's tough.
I think was a porn star is my number 1. Because
it may be
the cheats on the taxes. I can't deal with that, man. It's like you're going to go to prison and like just pay your taxes. So that's number 3.
You're probably right, but I would just have to move. I would have to move, and there's some areas where you're married to a porn star, and assuming she's faithful, right? It's all perfect otherwise.
Yeah,
then,
this is former.
Go live in Burbank. Go live in Burbank. She'll
formerly
see her
a porn
old
star.
friends. Like nobody's gonna care.
Yeah, you've been to Van Nuys. Everyone's a former. I know you're from there.
Yeah,
not from there, but it's really tough actually. They can't spell anything.
That's just not as bad as the taxes. It's just a different level.
It's so different, but I don't know, man. I know I'm rethinking it. You got to read everything
It's
to her?
really irritating.
Dude, tax fraud's number 2. I'm sorry. I'm not going to a restaurant. I got to read the menu to her every time.
Well, the first time you put it, it didn't feel like it was that she was illiterate. It was that she couldn't spell anything. Like she's writing it. Like she could read it. That's how I
Oh,
understood it. She could
that's
read,
better.
but if
You're
she's
right. You're
writing
right.
it,
Let's do that. Let's do
like
that.
how do you spell the would be really aggravating.
She leaves a note for you, and it looks like a zodiac letter.
right. Yeah, that's
like,
the
there's
worst.
no pattern to this.
Because after a while, you get over you get past the porn star thing. That was her job, or whatever you tell yourself. But that would be a day-to-day pain in the ass.
You know what? I'm going to go tax fraud last. As long as she can read that, then it's less of an obstacle. I'll just have to say, do not leave me any notes because I'm not going to understand them. And please don't fill out any forms unless I'm with you.
And it's kind of remarkable that she would not be cheating on her taxes, even though she's illiterate, but I guess it wouldn't matter as much. That's my answer, man. I'm sticking to it.
I'm with you, man. Anything else you want to add here?
No. Unless this comes out in the next hour, I'll be at Salerno's in Oak Park tomorrow night.
Fantastic. Well,
in Rosemont. I'll be at Zany's Rosemont next Thursday.
Do you want to give the dates? Because people will listen to it whenever they listen to
13th?
it. 13th? All right. I'll be taking my niece and nephew to Disneyland next weekend, the 15th. March 12th, that's the day this comes out. If you're in LA, I'm doing a new show at the Nightcap. It's a show that Nick and I used to run with our friend Brendan Fitzgibbons. We're at the Nightcap in Burbank. We've got Todd Glass. We've got Aparna Nancherla and Ian Carmel. It's an insane lineup.
Dude, that's
also
TT
Lee. And then the next weekend, the 20th through the 22nd of March, I'm in Montreal at the Comedy Nest. And then May...
What a great club that place is. Great club.
May 21st, I'm in Ottawa. Can't remember the name of the room, but it's going to be on my website by the time this comes out. The 22nd, I'm at Comedy Bar in Toronto. 23rd and 24th, I'm in Hamilton. So a lot of Canada, and my book or my special on my website, ryanconnorcomedy.com. Anything else?
No pig Latin, but also no ostrich knees. So
I'm taking ostrich knees. Bye.
Just
Bye.
A couple of guys palling around, coming out of your speakers, a beautiful sound. They debate, berate, and have a laugh or two. Connor v. Cobb, for me and for you. La 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 la, la 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 la. Connor v. Cobb, for me and you. Ryan and Nick. Nick and Ryan. The Scoundrels of the Hour.